In this video, we're going to look at some of my most viewed survival videos and see which one was the most popular. Let's do it in 3 days in the woods. This was the first solo survival vlog that I did, where I spent 3 days out in the forest by myself, and I had an absolute blast. I love solo survival because there is no pressure to make content. You just go out there and enjoy nature and live off of the land. But out of all the things that I did during that 3 days, the most popular thing was starting a fire with a ferrocerium flint and steel. People love to see fire being started in the wilderness. And if you can start a fire without a lighter or a fire plow, then that is a huge bonus. And this fire right here lasted for 2 nights, and it kept me nice and warm. The coolest part about this fire is that I didn't have any matches or a lighter, so I used a ferrocerium flint and steel setup to get that first ember. And that is not easy to do. It takes a lot of practice and you need the right technique. And if you want to learn how to start a fire with a flint and steel, I made an entire video dedicated to teaching you everything that you need to know about this ancient survival skill. So if you want to learn more about how to use the flint and steel, check out the video in the description. No food for 48 hours. What happened? This one was a fun challenge, and I was actually surprised when this video got as many views as it did. I knew that it would be popular, but I didn't realize just how many people would watch it. I think it's because people are always looking for ways to push themselves, and they want to know what would happen if they went that long without eating. During that 48 hours, I lost a lot of energy and my body was craving food the entire time. But I was also getting a lot of nutrients from drinking water because rainwater is full of minerals and stuff like that. So if you ever find yourself in a situation where you don't have any food, remember to drink plenty of water. It will keep your body running smoothly and you won't lose as much energy. Also, don't forget to stay active. If you lay down and relax, then your body will start to shut down and you won't be able to go as long as you could if you stayed moving. But overall, the experience was really positive. I felt great after I ate, and I realized that I do and really appreciate food as much as I should. Survival Knife vs. Multi-Tool. Who wins? This was another very popular video, and it's easy to see why. A lot of people carry a multi-tool, and they use it for everything. But in this video, I showed how a simple bushcraft survival knife can do everything that a multi-tool can do and more. For example, you can't start a fire with a multi-tool, but you can with a survival knife. And if you know the right techniques, you can do so many things with a fixed blade that you can't do with a multi-tool. Plus, a knife is just more versatile. You can use it for everything from building a shelter to processing game. And that's why I always recommend carrying a good quality bushcraft survival knife. Living in a tent for a week. Reality vs. expectations. This video blew up, and it's easy to see why. A lot of people are interested in living in a tent, and they want to know what it's like. But the biggest reason why this video got so many views is that I am living in a tent even now while making this video. I've been living in a tent for over a month, and it is not as glamorous as it seems. There are a lot of downsides to living in a tent, such as not having a comfortable bed, dealing with bugs and moisture, and always having to worry about the weather. However, there are also a lot of upsides to living in a tent. For example, it's a great way to save money, it's eco-friendly, and it's a very unique experience. Overall, I would say that the upsides outweigh the downsides, and I am glad that I decided to live in a tent for a week. 72-hour survival challenge, full breakdown. This is another popular video, and it's easy to see why. A lot of people love watching survival challenges, and they want to know what it's like to be dropped into a remote location and have to survive off the land. In this video, I was dropped off in the Beartooth Wilderness in the early 1900s, and I had to survive for 72 hours using primitive technology. I built a lean-to shelter, found plenty of food and water, and I even managed to start a fire without any modern tools. And although it was challenging, it was also very rewarding. It's amazing what you can do if you set your mind to it. And I proved to myself that I am capable of surviving in the wilderness without any help. Can you start a fire without tools? In this video, I used a bow drill to start a fire without any metal tools. It took me a few attempts to get it right, but eventually I managed to create an ember and catch it with some dry grass. Then it was just a matter of blowing that baby up, and before you know it, I had a roaring fire that I could use to cook food and keep warm. The cool thing about this video is that it shows how primitive humans were able to start fires before they invented tools like metal knives and flint and steel. And it is also a great example of how you can start a fire without any tools if you know the right techniques. I spent the night in a DIY shelter. This video is popular because people love to see cheap and easy DIY projects. In this video, I built a shelter using natural materials that I found in the forest, and it cost me nothing. I used sticks, leaves, dirt, and rocks to build a small cabin that I could curl up in for the night, and it worked perfectly. I stayed nice and warm and dry, and I didn't hear a single noise the entire night. Building a shelter like this is a great way to bond with your friends and family, and it is also a fun way to connect with nature. Plus, it's free. Why would anyone pay for an expensive hotel room when you can build your own cozy cabin in the woods? Surviving with only rainwater. This is another popular video because it is a great example of how you can survive in the wilderness without bringing any water with you. In this video, I showed how I collected rainwater using a tarp and then I filtered it using a Sawyer squeeze filter. I also showed how I used various techniques to find water in the forest, such as following animal tracks and looking for springs. And I want you to know that you can survive for a lot longer without water than you can without food. So if you ever find yourself in a survival situation, make sure to prioritize finding water over food. I gave up my phone and went off-grid. This video is popular because it's relatable. Many people feel like they are slaves to their phones and they want to break free. In this video, I showed how I was able to disconnect from society and reconnect with nature and myself. I talked about the benefits of disconnecting from technology, such as reducing stress and anxiety and improving mental clarity. And I also shared some tips on how to do it, such as setting boundaries around your phone usage and finding alternative ways to stay connected with friends and family. Disconnecting from technology is not easy, but it is worth it. It's amazing how much peace and quiet there is in the wilderness. And I highly recommend everyone disconnect from their phones for at least a few days and experience it for themselves. Surviving a thunderstorm in the forest. This video is popular because thunderstorms are scary and people want to know what to do if they get caught in one. In this video, I showed how to stay safe during a thunderstorm by avoiding tall trees, open fields, and water. I also showed how to build a lean-to shelter that can protect you from lightning strikes. And although thunderstorms can be dangerous, they are also beautiful. There's something about the power and majesty of a thunderstorm that is awe-inspiring. I hope that you never get caught in a thunderstorm, but if you do, remember to stay safe and enjoy the show. 24 hours on only wild food. This video is popular because it shows how easy it is to find food in the wilderness. In this video, I showed how I was able to survive for 24 hours on nothing but wild food that I foraged. I ate berries, mushrooms, nuts, and other wild plants, and I drank rainwater. I also showed how to identify edible plants and how to prepare them for eating. And although foraging for food can be challenging, it is also rewarding. There's something special about eating food that you foraged yourself, and I highly recommend everyone try it. I slept in the forest alone. This is yet another popular video, and it's easy to see why. A lot of people are afraid of sleeping in the forest alone, and they want to know what it is like. In this video, I showed how I built a debris hut and slept comfortably in the forest. I also shared some tips on how to stay safe while sleeping in the forest alone, such as choosing a good location and being aware of your surroundings. Sleeping in the forest alone can be intimidating, but it is also liberating. There is something special about being in the forest all alone, and it can be a very peaceful and relaxing experience. So those are some of my most popular survival videos, and it is really cool to see which ones resonated with you guys the most. If you enjoyed these videos, please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And let us know in the comments below which video was your favorite. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.